Let's take a look at the LG Signature Washer. You'll see first, here we have the new LCD display. We also have EzDispense, which is down here at the bottom of the machine. And then we have our Sidekick washer, which is sold separately. But this LG Sidekick works best with this washer and was designed for it, and it actually pairs and is controlled from the washer display. So let's check it out and turn it on. And you can see from the start, it starts up on the normal cycle, and notice the time. You can see 28 minutes. The drum's empty right now, but this would auto adjust depending on what I have in here. And this would display the cycle time in just a few seconds. And it applies to every single cycle that I have in here. So that's a great feature. It just lets you know your time right off the bat. So let's start with the normal cycle. And when I press normal, I can view my options. But I can also swipe side to side to see the different cycles. If I don't want to swipe, I can press the cycle selector icon and view a list of all the available cycles. By default, I have like 12 cycles. I can add more or remove these too, and I'll show you how to do that later in the additional settings. So now let's go back into the normal cycle. The first option is water temp. So I can change the water from hot, extra hot, cold, tap cold, etc. Tap cold means this water is whatever the temperature is directly coming from your tap. It's comparable to like the temperature of your spigot or your hose. Your other option is cold water, which uses a combo of warm and cold water to reach a standard cold temperature. Next up is spin, which is my spin speed. You want a higher spin for things like towels or something that's really absorbent, and that'll spin out the water and decrease your dry time. And then I have soil level. Soil level is based on how dirty my laundry is. So a lot of times this is medium, but if I have something that's really dirty, I can use heavy. And these modifiers you can see are going to change my cycle time as well. Next is turbo wash, which is only adjustable on certain cycles. It uses stronger wash motions and leads to faster wash times. Next is the auto detergent and auto softener settings. We'll come back to that in a minute. On the next page is rinse. This is if I want to add some extra rinses to my wash. This is followed by cold wash, and adding this optimizes cold water washing, increasing rinses, and adds cooler water. It's best for small loads, and it does add extra time to the cycle. I can also add a pre-wash, which will dispense a small amount of detergent from the auto dispenser and pre-wash my laundry. It only works with EzDispense, and I don't have the option to add a detergent manually to the drum for this. Next is an option to add steam. And then there's a Fresh Care button. What Fresh Care does is it will periodically spin my laundry after the load is done washing. This is a great option for someone who can't unload their laundry right away, and then spinning it helps keep the clothes from sitting and getting stale before transferring it to a dryer. My last option is Delay Start. This lets me set a delay on my laundry for up to 24 hours. Now that we've looked through all the main options, let's go over EzDispense. I'm going to briefly break down the basics of EzDispense, and then we can dive into everything that you can do with it. EzDispense is an automatic detergent and softener dispensing system and is on by default. In previous washers, you would fill up a dispenser cup or toss a pack in the drum each time you did a load of laundry. But EzDispense is different, and you fill up a dispenser once about every 18 loads of laundry before refilling it. The dispenser for this model can be found at the bottom of the washer. Push in the indent, and then push in the drawer on the right-hand side to release the dispenser tank. The tank on the left is for the detergent, and the tank on the right is labeled for softener. You fill these both up to the max fill line, and then the washer will sense your load size and then auto-dispense the appropriate amount of detergent and softener each time, which is based on an average of 1.5 ounces for detergent and 2 ounces of softener. Once you are running low, you will receive a notification on the washer that will let you know to refill it. One last thing, you only want to use high-efficiency detergent or detergent labeled as HE in the dispenser. You can't put detergent sheets, pods, bleach in the dispenser. If you want to add these, you can turn off EzDispense and add it directly in the drum, which I'll go over in a minute. Now that I've gone over the basics, let's review the different settings for the dispenser. When you select the detergent button, you can access all your main options for both the detergent and softener. It opens to this detergent control normal, and it says default 1.5 below. So the EzDispense will make small adjustments up or down of this like 1.5 base on the weight size that it senses. You can adjust this amount with the slider in increments of 10%. You might do more for something extra soiled or do less for some delicate items. You can control the softener the same way. You can also adjust the 1.5 ounces, but you would only normally do this if you are using a detergent that is a higher concentrate. You'll know if it's higher based on the labels of your detergent. You'll see things like 2 times or 4 times concentration on the packaging. If you connect the washer to the LG ThinQ app, there's a calculator in there that will teach you how to do this if you want to change it. Next, let's look at what to do if you want to manually add detergent, add bleach, use a pod, or use detergent sheets. You can turn the dispenser off individually by deselecting the auto detergent dispense button. You can just turn one off like softener if you don't want to use it for a specific load and keep the dispenser on, or you can turn them both off if you want to manually add a detergent pack or a sheet. There isn't a bleach dispenser on this washer, so to add bleach, you need to use a bleach tablet and add it directly to the drum. There are a few more things to look at before we wrap up on detergent use. At the top, you see a dispenser usage menu. In this menu, I have 3 options to customize the dispenser tank. I have one for detergent and softener, which is what we've been working with. I have another for 2 types of detergent. This is good if you use a different detergent for younger kids or maybe a family member is hypoallergenic. When using 2 different detergents, I can access a new menu option called Detergent in Use, and in here I can select which detergent I want to use for the cycle. I also have the option to use the same detergent. This would save me time if I only use one detergent because it would almost double the amount of detergent in the dispenser. When switching between tanks, you will be prompted to perform a nozzle clean, which flushes out the dispenser, and the prompt will instruct you on how to do this. The last option I have is auto detergent by cycle. When this option is enabled, I can customize and save my detergent settings for each cycle I use. So I'm going to the bedding cycle and I'm going to turn on the auto detergent by cycle option. I'm going to increase the amount of detergent to the max amount because my comforter is large and bulky, and then I'm going to decrease my softener usage a little bit because it's too fragrant for me when I sleep. Now let's back out and you can see the applied changes for maximum and less on the detergent settings for bedding. Now I'm going to customize another cycle. Let's choose delicates. And I'm going to do less detergent as my option for this one. And then let's change the softener to the lowest setting called minimum. Let's go back and you can see my detergent and softener settings were applied to this cycle. And if I go back to bedding, you can see the options change so I can save individual detergent settings by cycle. I can even go back into bedding and go down the softener and just turn it off, and it'll save too. And if we go back to delicates, you'll see the softener is enabled for this cycle. So this option saves you time and really allows you to customize your cycles. Now that we've gone through EzDispense, let's look at the Sidekick controls. If I press washer here on the screen, it's going to split, and now I have options to control the Sidekick mini washer. This comes with 5 cycles and a download cycle, which is spin only by default. I can connect to the ThinQ app and download a different cycle in place of spin only. But I can kind of do a hack and keep spin only. I can just go to rinse and spin and just turn off the rinses. And now I have a spin only cycle. So this allows me to keep a spin only cycle, and I can still add something new if I want. The mini washer does have limited options. It gives me an option to add rinses to my cycles and to change from warm water to cold water. So this is warm water on, and if I turn this off, it's going to be cold water. A nice feature with this is if both the mini washer and the pedestal washer are running, I can switch between the two and view my progress. Let's switch back to the main washer and go into the options menu. So to access additional options, press this gear icon at the bottom corner, and now at the top of the list, I have Wi-Fi. This would be the first thing that I would set up. I can monitor my wash, customize cycles, change sounds, and get upgradable features for the washer. Next is remote start, so I can control the washer from the ThinQ app. I have an EzDispense menu next, which is the same as the cycle menus, so we can just skip over that. A drum light. I can turn this on to check on my laundry or to unload. The light stays on for 4 minutes and then it's going to automatically shut off. Next is control lock. This will lock the interface controls so a child can't accidentally change the cycle. To disable this, you can just push and hold the lock icon for 3 seconds. Next up is the cycle list edit. And in this menu is where you're going to find all the rest of your cycles. So normal, AI wash, and tub clean, you can't change, but everything else is customizable. So, let's say I don't really use perm press or the allergy cycle. You can just deselect those. And I want to add rinse and spin only to be available all the time. Press the back button, and this is going to save these to the home screen. I'm just going to back out and show you so then that way you can see that it's now been added to the home screen. So let's go back into the options menu, and next I have EzDispense nozzle clean. So you'll be prompted how to do this if you select this button, But if you previously had softener in one side of your detergent tank and you want to switch to a detergent or even a different softener, you want to empty the dispenser drawer, fill it with water, and run this nozzle clean to flush out any of the remaining liquid. Next, you have the signal button. This is the volume control. You can turn it all the way up or way down to off. I like to hear it, so I'm going to turn it back up. And I can also control the brightness of this display. We have one more menu in here, so let's look at a few things in the additional settings. First is cycle optimization. This is on by default. So what cycle optimization is let's say you are using the same few cycles and settings time after time. What it does is it learns and saves these settings. So if I'm always using cold water and then I like to add an extra rinse, over time, the washer is going to adapt to these settings and you're going to power it on and these are going to stay this way. So I won't have to keep selecting cold water or an extra rinse. What it also does is it changes the manual order when you're swiping. So if I'm using normal a lot and then I'm following it up by doing a load of towels every week, eventually towels will move up in the order and it'll go in between this and whatever's here. So it's going to order the cycles by how much I use them too. Back in additional settings, up next is the Sidekick connection. This is where I compare the washer with the Sidekick mini washer. Since it's connected now, I'm going to disconnect the mini washer and restart, and then show you how to connect it. From the main menu, go into the options menu by pressing the gear icon in the bottom right corner. Once in this menu, scroll to additional settings, and here the second option from the top is Sidekick Connect. This will give me a prompt to push and hold the tub clean button on the Sidekick. So now I'm going to turn on the pedestal washer, and then I'm going to push and hold the tub clean button until I hear a chime and the text below starts blinking Washer Connect. Now I'm going to go back up here and select Connect. And now they're connected. Next, after Sidekick connection, I can run a smart diagnosis. Using the LG ThinQ app, I can run this, which can help in identifying and troubleshooting problems with the washer. And after this, I have factory reset, which will reset all my settings. If you want more information on maintenance and pedestal usage, check out the other videos on LG customer support.